Hello and welcome to the Knitting Diaries, where I don't really complain about not having a house, but where I instead brag about all the things I've been knitting. Socks is a common word, very common word. So I don't remember when the last Knitting Diaries was. It's been a while. And I can tell by looking at what I've been doing, like knitting wise. So let's just dive right in because that's what we're here for. At least that's what I'm here for. The first thing that I knitted, I used this yarn. I do like this yarn, like a lot. Maybe I should show you that way. I have used this yarn for many pairs of socks, and that is what I used it for this time too. And if the lighting is a little off, it's because I have to use the ceiling light because it's winter. It's actually snow on the ground, and I knitted a pair of socks because who doesn't like home knitted wool socks? I mean, I know I do. I wear them all the time, literally all the time. Even in the summer I can totally wear wool socks because my feet are like popsicles usually. But I really like this yarn, and I talked about this yarn in a previous video about how I got it, what I intended to do with, or actually not with this color, but what I realized after I'd gotten it, what I could do, and then I didn't. So I knitted a pair of socks. They're knitted toe up, so I start on the toe. I do a... okay, let's see. I did ever since I learned how to knit socks from toe up, I haven't knitted them cuffed down because why would I struggle with like the toe and when there are like 2 stitches on each of the 4 needles? It's a mess and it's always a little frustrating. So since I learned toe up, that's what I'm doing. The heel is shadow short row heel. So that information is for all the socks. And I love the color, and I always do ribbing 2x2 because it's stretchy, and it's always kind of like stockinette stitch on under the foot and ribbing 2x2 on top of the foot because, you know, whether our feet are fatter or thinner, don't matter, it stretches. And I mean, the length is, it is the length that it is. So I knitted these, and I have my handy notebook. It's more like a notepad. I don't know the exact wording. Anyway, I used about 8 days in these, and I used a 3mm needle. The leg itself is 22 centimeter because, I don't know, I like that length, and I don't think I'm gonna sell these because the yarn was a birthday present from my mom, so I'm not gonna sell these. I'm gonna wear these, so I'm making it the exact way how I want it. So I started these Friday 22nd of September, and I finished them 30th of September. And oh my god, that's such a long time ago because it is today 20th of November. Yep, it's been a while since my last Knitting Diaries apparently. And I used 64 stitches when I had all my stitches, and I do that in pretty much all the socks. So it's gonna be some repeats here. And this yarn is a somewhat thinner yarn, so it's not like super thick. So it's not the most wintry socks, but I like them. I mean, I love the color. And I totally would want to knit a blanket maybe of this color, but I've already knitted a blanket with this yarn. Not in this color, it's in the next color, but I don't know, I kind of wish to have a blanket in this color because I love the color. So that was the first pair of socks that I'm gonna show off. The second has the exact same yarn, but a different color. And they're blue. They're different shades of blue. As you can see, they're the exact same, knitted the exact same way, and toe up, and shadow short row heel, and the same layout of everything. So basically, 2 pairs, the exact same. And these I spent more time on. Actually, I didn't. About the same time. Because I started on October 1st and finished October 9th. So 8 days on those 2. Maybe that's my new thing. Knitting a pair of socks in 8 days. I kind of want to have it 7 days because I can say I can knit a pair of socks in a week, but you know, can't always do everything. This next will be harder to show you, I think, because of the lighting and the color and the band and what else here. And this yarn, it was such a soft yarn, and I love the color. It's 50% baby alpaca and 50% silk, and they're so cute. And these are wrist warmers. I'm gonna put them on. They're not super long. They are, let's see, 14 centimeters, and I didn't spend that long knitting them. I mean, I don't know how well it's gonna show up because it's a little dark, but I have, like, they're tiny little cables on them, and I didn't use many days. I started October 11th and finished October 15th. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I used 5 days on these. So not that much shorter than a pair of socks, but the first time, this is the first time I've knitted the cables and without an extra needle to put the stitches on, which was very challenging, but I got it done, and I liked the challenge. And I mean, look at the color. Don't you just love it? I mean, I know I love it. And they're getting itchy for me because it's alpaca, but they're so soft because of the silk. But me and alpaca don't really get along, which is very sad. I mean, the color. I'm totally in love with this color. So, yeah. I needed a pair of wrist warmers because that's what I do. And other things I do, as I said, oh dear, I knit a lot of socks. This is a different yarn than the first 2 socks. Here is this one. And do you need more information? You might want that information. And yeah, so it's 80 wool and 20 nylon. And this yarn is a little bit thicker than this yarn. And for these, I also used 3mm needles, so the same needle size, but it's a thicker yarn. So they're thicker. And I'm continuously using up leftovers, which is why this have a different color. I had more black left, or I didn't have more black, but I made sure that they became the same length in the black, and then I added purple because the legs weren't long enough, so, you know. And luckily for me, I wasn't sure if I had, so I'm like, oh no, what do I match it with a completely different yarn? And turns out I didn't need to, because I had the same yarn in a different color. But these are longer. Oh, I didn't measure them. And I don't have my measuring tape with me. Hold on. Okay, they're not that much different, so maybe they're like 23 centimeter on the leg, but I really wanted to use up the yarn. So, this is leftover. It was all kind of leftover, but it made it into a pair of socks, and I'm so excited. These are thicker. They're not super thick. I still want something thicker, but they're kind of cute. I mean, I love it when the mix here, and I think it's gonna be nice. And I've knitted socks of this yarn before, and I do love it. And it's super soft and it's nice and warm. I mean, I'm pretty sure the socks I'm currently wearing, don't worry, not gonna show you. Pretty sure the socks I'm currently wearing is the same yarn as these. So I'm very happy with that. And let's see. Oh, I used 10 days on these. And I think that was partly because I didn't know. I had to spend some time find another box of yarn because stuff is everywhere and nowhere, and I can't find anything. There is still a box of yarn that I don't know where it is. I have been looking for it, but I don't know where it is. I just assume it's in the house or out in the shed somewhere, hopefully, because I'm missing some yarn. Which is crazy to say because I have so much, but it's in boxes everywhere, so yeah. But yeah, these are also kind of for me, and I started them October 15th and finished 25th of October. So 10 days on these, but I wanted to show them off to you guys before I started wearing them. And I mean, they've been done for almost a month now, so luckily I'm filming. So yeah, socks. It's a thing. And I always keep, not eventually, but in the beginning, hold on. At first I always keep the bands so I know how to clean them. And I mean, like these ones says hand wash on, gosh, that was impossible to read, 30 degrees Celsius, but these I can do in a machine, I think, on 40 degrees. So, you know, it's important to take care of your hand knits when you actually do make them. Not that I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna try to sell them, even though I love the color, but I can't wear them, so, you know, what's the use of keeping them? I should probably try to sell stuff before Christmas, but I don't know where everything is, and I'm busy with school, so I knit instead, so I can sell at some later on. Not these. These I'm gonna start using, and I'm so excited about it. I love this yarn. I'm not gonna say it's pricey and expensive. It's not really, but yarn itself is kind of, you know, expensive, so in that sense I'm very lucky that I have a lot of yarn. I just use what I have. Something else that I had was I had 2 balls of this yarn, and this one is obviously not used, but I did make something. And this is also alpaca and silk, but it's 70% alpaca. And I just wanted something, and none of the things that I'm showing has been blocked, so the stitches, at least on this one, is, yeah, it needs a good blocking. They're wrist warmers, 2x2 ribbing, because I wanted something super easy and simple, and I can't wear them because alpaca, but they're really cute. And I thought I would love the color more than I do, but hopefully someone else will get to love them. Yet again, wrist warmers. And the yarn, even though it looks super thin, calls for 3.5mm needles, so that's what I used, 3.5mm. And I have 48 stitches, so 2x2 ribbing, you know, you do the math, super easy. And they're 14 centimeters, just as long as the other one. And I started them October 16th and finished October 21st, so 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Oh, I used 6 days on these. They're super cute. They're not for me. I really gotta start making stuff for me, and I kind of have. I think I'm gonna keep the next item, and this is such an old yarn. Like, I know I made stuff from it like at least 10 years ago. Wait, no, 15 years ago maybe. Anyway, here's the yarn. And what I made is these. Can you see all of them? They're two. Like, they're leg warmers. They're a bit longer than I intended, but I wanted to use up the yarn, you know? That's a common theme right now. Use the yarn that I have. Don't bring new stuff into the house. As in, don't bring new stuff into my parents' house, because it's not my house. And, yeah, space is an issue. But anyway, leg warmers, because I told you before, my feet are like popsicles, even in summer at times. So, you know, we're in winter now. They're even more popsicle-like. But wrist warmers, no, leg warmers, 2x2 ribbing, because, you know, it's black. It's really hard to knit with black because you can't see anything. I don't know if I have any mistakes here. I don't think I have, but it's hard to tell. They're black. But I used, let's see, 92 stitches round. It's 100% wool, so they're gonna be nice and warm. And yes, I know I say wool itches, but I'm not gonna use them right on my skin. I'm gonna have something, a barrier, cotton barrier between these things and my legs, so I'll be fine. And oh, I didn't write down how long they were. That's not good. But they are definitely long. Longer than they probably should be. But, you know, as I said, that's the yarn that I had. So that's what I did. And I took some time doing these. I started October 23rd and finished November 12th. So that was like 3 weeks? Well, I did do something else while I was also doing these. I kind of had like these going in my bedroom, and I had something else going in the living room, so I didn't have to move stuff back and forth. So, but yeah, leg warmers, very long ones. So yeah, probably gonna keep these for myself and use them, because I don't like being a popsicle. Just because I am something doesn't mean I have to like it. The next item, which I did at the same time as the leg warmers, I used this yarn, and I did not buy this yarn. And I'm not gonna keep the thing that I knitted because it wasn't my yarn. It was a charity thing, and it's a bigger item, so it took a while. I mean, now you can't see me. It's a garter stitch blanket. It is, gosh, I really need to learn to like measure things and put it down. I think it's about 70 centimeters wide and 85 or something long. And I had 2 of the blue, dark gray, blue, light gray, and 2 more of the blue. So 2, 4. So I used 7 balls of yarn for this one. It's a charity thing. It's gonna go to premature born babies. So I didn't buy the yarn. It's gonna get out of the house. I don't know when, but yeah. It's 100% merino wool. It's supposed to be good for babies, so it doesn't itch, but, you know, it still makes me itch, so, you know, that's the thing. I used 196 stitches across to get the about 70 centimeters. And I used, let's see, 3mm needle. And I started it October 25th and finished I started October 25th. I finished it November 17th. And then I wove in all the ends. That always takes me a while, but it's fine. It's good. And I think you're about to cut me off, but I have one more thing to show you. So I'm gonna do a little something, and then I'll show you the last thing. There, I had to make sure you were recording because, I mean, I've filmed before and you not recording me. It's so annoying. But last item is, okay, let's see. This yarn, and this is yarn that I did buy just very, very recently for a very simple reason. Christmas is coming. And I've gotten pretty far actually already. I started November 12th. Oh, exactly a week ago. Cool. Okay. And I'm knitting socks. And I finished the first one. It has a bigger foot because it's not for me. It's gonna be a Christmas present, but I still, and yes, I have not woven in the end. I will before I present them as a present. So I have more stitches here. My regular socks for me is 64 stitches. This one I did 68. And the reason I didn't do more, even though it's like 3 sizes bigger than my feet, it's simply because it's a thicker yarn. And I used, I should say, I am using a 3.5 millimeter needle because, as I said, it's a present. So the foot is longer, but the same goes for all my socks now. Toe up, shadow shorter of heel, but the leg is 22 centimeter. Because I felt like it looked better with the foot. I hope the receiver of this Christmas gift will be happy with it, but I don't know. But I'm done with one sock, and I am about to be finished with the heel, which is why it looks so weird right now. I am almost done with the heel on the second sock, so you can see the sock in progress. Mid-progress. And since I don't know when next I'm gonna film the Knitting Diaries, this might be the only way you're gonna see these socks. Let's be honest, probably, but I'm finished with the first, working on the second. I basically only have like the leg left, and because the heel is almost done. I have like 2 more rows, I think, on the heel, and yeah. I bought 4 balls of yarn, but I'm only on my second, so I think I'm only gonna need 3 balls of yarn. So what am I gonna do with the last one? I don't know. I don't think this is the yarn I would use for wrist warmers because it's a little rough. A little more, I mean, I don't know how to explain it. Like this one, which I love, it's not, it's softer. This is like more scratchy. I heard someone use a different word, but I don't remember what it was. But maybe it was rustic? But to me, rustic seems just like old, but it's not old. I mean, I just bought this, but yeah, it feels more scratchy than this one, so definitely prefer this one. But for warmer socks, I prefer this one. I'm gonna wanna venture out and try more different yarns for socks because I want something like really thick for my feet in winter. I mean, who knows what kind of house I buy at some point. Maybe it'll be a really cold one in the beginning. I'm gonna need something really warm. But anyway, that is it. So 1, 2, 3 pairs of socks, 2 pairs of wrist warmers, 1 pair of leg warmers, 1 baby blanket, and almost another pair of socks. So closing in on 4 pairs of socks since the last Knitting Diaries, whenever that was. Probably somewhere, hold on, middle to late September. So basically 2 months ago maybe. Sorry about that. I'm gonna try to do them more often, but I am living with my parents still, so you know, if you want to know more about that situation, go check out some other videos. Otherwise, wait, that's not the right word. Anyway, have you been knitting socks lately? And also, have you been knitting anything for like Christmas gifts? Do you knit stuff for Christmas gifts? Or do you just buy stuff? I mean, I'm buying stuff too. I'm so not done with Christmas presents. Luckily, it's not for another month. Yep. It's not for another month. Still got time. Before then, I got a lot of other stuff to do, like school and exam, and continue trying to find a house, but I will keep knitting. I mean, these have to be done before Christmas because it's Christmas present, so, you know. Do you think I have enough socks now? Can you ever have enough knitted socks? I mean, they do have to be cleaned occasionally, so always nice to have another pair or two, or yeah. I have some other socks, but they've been packed in boxes and I don't know which box they're in, so it's probably a good thing that I've been knitting new ones, so I actually have more to use, so I can clean the ones that I do use all the time. So that was it for me today. The Knitting Diaries is officially over for this time, or at least this video. Trust me, there will be more Knitting Diaries. I just don't know when, but they are coming. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope you have a nice day and do some knitting or crochet or weave or sew or whatever you choose to do. That's like not yarn related. Then again, sewing is also yarn related. You generally sew with yarn. Also embroidery. There's so much stuff you can do with yarn and so much enjoyment, and I don't feel like I had time for almost any of it, but I did have time for the Knitting Diaries. I hope you have enjoyed it. I wish you a very well day. I need to work on my finishing videos. Let's do that some other time. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.